Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Wigs for Kids car show took place during the weekend, bringing in more than 100 cars for a successful event. And yesterday marked the beginning of fire season in Kentucky, and officials are warning you to be safe for the upcoming months.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 6 o'clock on October 2nd. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, I saw a little bit of fog this morning, but I think once we get past that in some areas, it's going to be a really pretty day. Yeah,
I think will be too, but again, it's just going to be those things we got to get past that first, and it could be around as late as 9 o'clock this morning. Let's take a look at Mount Vernon. Not a whole lot of fog down that way, but you can see just a little bit in the lights there, so continue to watch that. Heading back to temperatures, you'll see they're in the 50s and 60s this morning, from 50 in Clintwood to 62 in Jackson and Monticello. A little extra on your coffee meter, especially if you're cold-natured. It's going to be a little chilly out there this morning. And the 12-hour planner, not so much this afternoon. Maybe take your jackets and your vests and your sweaters and things this morning, but you'll be able to get rid of them pretty quickly as we head into the afternoon, topping out in the low 80s there later today. Olivia?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, the man who was at the center of a drug investigation that led to her death, is now behind bars. Demarcus Glover faces charges of organized crimes and using children to traffic drugs, among others. St. Matthews police took him into custody at a house in the Taylor-Berry neighborhood. They say he was using the home as a base to sell drugs. Back in 2020, Glover's home was the focus of another investigation. That's when Breonna Taylor's apartment was raided, resulting in her death. Glover pleaded guilty to drug trafficking to avoid a prison sentence last year and was supposed to be on probation in Mississippi. Saturday, he posted on social media that he was back in town. The ATF and DEA are also investigating. Glover will be in court today. Hundreds of people gathered near Perry Central to participate in the Wigs for Kids car show. Proceeds go towards making wigs for kids with cancer. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
Wigs for Kids, an organization dedicated to making wigs for kids who are experiencing hair loss.
Because Wigs for Kids, not only do they make the wigs, each child gets a quote-unquote spa day. So they get to go and have the wig cut and styled to what they like. And so you're looking at a little less than $2,000 per wig.
On Saturday, hundreds of people gathered for the 8th annual Wigs for Kids car show. Organizer John Roberts says this year's attendance is more than what they've seen in the past.
So we're going to trump what we've made. In the past, I think right around 5,600 has been the most. So I'm really pushing to try to get to that 6,000 mark, which would be like a little more than 3 wigs. So 3 kids will be helped just by this car show in Hazard, Kentucky.
Robert says it's nice to show off cool cars, but ultimately it's about the kids.
Getting that word out to me is the biggest thing, because we can make a difference. And I tell everybody, you may not know a child right now who's going to need this wig, but by you being so generous and helping, you're going to help kids that you'll never meet feel the best that they can and try to live a normal life.
However, it doesn't have to be a big donation.
So there's so many items at this silent auction, and if every item even just sold for the minimum of the $5, you're talking about a few $100s. So if anybody ever wants to donate, never think that anything's too small, because a $5 or $10 donation, it all adds up in the long run.
With thousands of dollars made through folks entering the competition, voting, and more, Robert says he's excited to help more kids in need. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Robert says you can either give monetary donations or donate your hair when getting a haircut. For more information about the organization, you can visit our website at WYMT.com. One organization is looking to better the relationship between elementary school students and food. Food Corps launched a program with Perry County Schools that betters food education in rural communities. Food Corps site supervisor Kristen Webb says this program will have a positive impact on students as it teaches them how to create their own food in a time where food at the grocery store can be expensive.
People are struggling, and food prices are outrageous. and people are trying to identify ways to cut back. And if we can show them a way that they can plant a 68-cent packet of seeds and have food over, the next 2 months, I think that is a huge sense of empowerment, and it gives people back a sense of dignity in a way.
Webb says in less than 2 months, the program has been successful in getting students involved and learning about growing their own food. She says other school districts are looking to join in on the program as well. October 1st marked the start of fall fire season in Kentucky, a period in which the risk of forest fires are enhanced. First Alert meteorologist Alexa Minton spoke with Lexington Fire about the time period and what people can do to prepare.
Fall forest fire hazard season officially begins in October, signifying the period in which the state of Kentucky is at higher risk for forest fires. The season is officially from October 1st through December 15th, and the state places a burn restriction for those planning on using controlled burns on their property, warning folks not to burn between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day.
After 6 p.m., it's okay. Go ahead and have your your fire pit or whatever else you want to have, but during those hours between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., no burning.
For the next 8 weeks, weather conditions are favorable for potential fires, specifically in the hardwood timber region of Kentucky. Fall-like conditions such as mild temps, leaf drops, and low humidity can make our area especially conducive for forest fires. However, thanks to conditions shifting in the overnight, folks are allowed to burn post 6 p.m. and pre-6 a.m., as long as they are within 150 feet of woodland or brushland.
Dew point's a little lower at night. The temperature's a little lower at night, so you don't have those all those different conditions which can contribute to a wildfire or a fire getting out of hand.
October is also National Fire Prevention Month, drawing attention to the importance of safety practices when around flammable materials. Section Chief Roberts also recommended a few tips on how to protect yourself if you must burn during this period.
What you want to do is give yourself around 10 feet of area around wherever you're burning during those hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and give yourself a little more area where it's not going to catch something else on fire right there.
For WKYT, I'm First Alert meteorologist Alexa Minton.
The Kentucky Division of Forestry is mandated by law to provide organized fire protection, and they are encouraging folks to report fires to the local field branch office that serves your county. Downtown Cynthiana was home to Saturday's Witches Day Out Festival. The event aims to raise money for various charitable causes while bringing in the fall season. But this year, festival organizers say it was met with some backlash.
So more or less, they were talking about how witches and witches festival were not in the Bible, and they were name calling a lot of us heathens and sinners, and how we were all going to be dragged to hell.
The group did eventually leave the event. White says Cynthiana police is looking further into the incident. People in Barboursville, West Virginia woke up a little earlier than usual this weekend to help improve their community and enjoy a delicious breakfast. The Barboursville Lions Club hosted their Pancake Breakfast Saturday morning at the Senior Center. Members started serving pancakes and sausages as early as 7 o'clock.
It gives you a real great feeling in your heart, knowing that we're supposed to, as believers in Christ, we're supposed to be supporting our fellow man however we can, and trying to look after some of their needs too.
The funds raised will go to scholarships for Cabell Midland students, as well as providing eyeglasses and exams, which is the primary focus of the Lions Club. Special Olympics Kentucky has officially opened their flag football season. More than 200 athletes competed in the tournament at St. Xavier High School. 4 teams from Louisville were there, among with teams from Brandenburg, Elizabethtown, Frankfort, and more across the state. One of the organizers talked about how this benefits the players.
Well, one, I would say, is the socialization aspect. They come here, they make friends that last a lifetime. But also, we're teaching skills, and they're playing just like any other athlete on a play-in field. And so we're building those skills like we do in traditional sports. So we're excited to celebrate their achievement.
This was the first of 3 regional tournaments. The next ones will be on October 22nd and November 4th.
Coming up on 6:09, you can see it's very foggy outside the WYMT studios here in Hazard, one of the cooler spots in our region at 52. And you see 50 exact there in Clintwood, 52 also in Jonesville, 52 in Irvin, 61 in Monticello, and 62 in Jackson. So again, might see some upper 40s, some of those sheltered valleys on our way to 82 this afternoon. No rain chances in store for us. Lots of sunshine once the fog lifts. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, Congress struck a last-minute deal Saturday to keep government funding afloat, but how long will it last? Stay with us as we look at what politicians think of the move.